All right, all right, all right. Can you guys hear me just fine? Lee Saunders, Deb B, Kathleen Cross, Fox Hill Dreams, Susie Brizuela, Jamie from Wisconsin, Veronica Tello, Meredith Powell, Cindy C. Oh, and no music. God damn it. You guys cannot hear the music. All right, well. God damn. Guys, welcome to another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad, and I am pissed. Today has been just brutal. It's brutal. God damn, it's always the Windows. No. I do not need to upgrade. That is the problem, is that every time Windows upgrades or updates my software, it just throws my whole configuration out of whack. You know, I come back from a weekend and find my shit all kerfluffle. So yeah, that's gonna negate the videos that I have. It's gonna negate the music. So, updates suck all the time. I hate updates. You know, when I had a Mac, I would just postpone those updates for infinity. I would as long as it would allow me to postpone the updates, that's what I was doing. And let's see. So you can hear my voice. You just cannot hear the music. Can I turn those Windows updates off? I don't know. I will look into that. But anyway, damn, that throws off my whole shebang. The whole damn. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can't fix this while I have you here. Let's see, more sound settings. And let's see it. That's the default. Aux input. Voice meter. Let's see if that works. Let's see, try that. You can hear me, but no music. How about now? Can you guys hear any music? Because I can hear it just fine. No? No. And Vorderbruggen says no tunes. Okay. How about now? Yeah? No? No music, but you can hear me just fine. All right, that's fine. Then I don't give a damn. I'm going to present the content that I have for you, but since, let's see, can I put that up there? Yeah, okay. God damn it. Dun, 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 dun. Stories of the day. Screw this day, man. Yeah, even I couldn't even print to my printer. This is pissing me off. Okay, so what starts wars? There are 8 different things that start wars, and we're going to dive into those 8 different things. Is Truth Social over before it has even begun? We will get into that as well. For those of you who consider yourselves experts in presidential trivia, well, you don't need to be an expert to participate in this guessing game. A little later on, we shall see. Mac in the future, maybe. Well, and last but not least, today's You Raggedy Bish is none other than Ted Cancun Cruz or Fled Cruz. That damn Alaskan says, let's pretend this is one of our late night trysts, BDD. We got this. Okay. All right. So, first up, today is Monday. Happy Monday, you guys. I'm so sorry. My vibe is so off right now. I was this close to saying, you know what? Screw it. I'm not even doing the show today. I was just mad. You know, this is one of those days where no matter what you do, you are thwarted at every turn. Every goddamn turn. Anyway, happy Monday and happy President's Day to everybody here. Thank you all for, not you, being such great presidents. Yeah, and this meme is making the rounds now. The right wing has, they're being extremely creative by swapping out Trump and putting Biden in the center square. Well, we all know that's bullshit. That's bogus. Because President Biden is head and shoulders well above Spanky, where Spanky McDumbass lowered that bar. President Biden has raised the bar once again on presidential conduct and presidential everything. Just presidential. Man can president. Yes. I want to talk about, oh, wait a minute. I do have some background tunes I can put on. I need some background tunes right about now. Oh wait, but you guys can't even hear that shit either. Anyway, this weekend was like a watching weekend for me and wifey. And wait, you can hear that music? You can hear that? Wait a minute. Time out. You can hear that background music. This is interesting. All right. Let's see. Can you hear this? If you can hear that creepy meowing, let me know. Yeah? Yes, cute. Yes, yes. Huh, interesting. You could hear that. You couldn't hear the music. All right, I'll figure that out. So wait, so then if that's the case, then you can also hear this. Boom. Okay. All right. I'll figure this out at some point. Here we go. Inventing Anna was a fascinating show to watch. Now, I vaguely recall having heard about this when it first came out. But, not all that well because I wasn't paying attention. There's so many scammers in real life. I was pretty much ignoring her, but this was a story. This is a true story that happened back in 2017. 2017, she was moving and shaking the movers and shakers in New York City. She was a girl who was born in Russia, but then her family moved to Germany, and then she came over here with the persona of a German heiress. right? And she was running this game on everybody saying, oh yeah, I got $60 million coming to me in an inheritance, and I'll just have the money wired over here, et cetera, et cetera. And people were buying that shit. I don't know if it was, her accent was crazy. Wifey and I were watching this show and loved it, by the way. The performances were fantastic. The scenes, because they went around. She went around to different places. She went to Morocco and, it was excellent cinematography. But her accent was so off-putting. It was just, we couldn't even figure out, where is this from? It's definitely not German. It's also not Russian. You may not be impressionistic, but you know how is Russian sound. And she didn't sound like Russian, and she didn't sound like German. She sounded like somebody who thinks they know what a German sounds like is doing. So anyway, apparently, according to people who worked closely with Anna Delvey, was her name, that's spot on for how she really talks in real life. So this show was on Netflix, and when I say this is a bingeable show, it is. She's not a nice person. If you knew her in real life, you wouldn't like her. You would not like her one bit. She was selfish and shallow, and insulting, but she definitely knew how to capture people's greed. Yeah, the greed was what drove people. Like, I've seen people fall prey to hoaxes and to scammers, right? The Nigerian prince thing, you guys have heard of that, right? The Nigerian prince thing. So many people have fallen prey to such like a blatant scam because of greed. At the bottom line, and so why this thing lasted so long is because a lot of people were just ashamed to admit. And yes, Lucy is pointing out, very helpful, I totally forget. The actress is Julia Garner. Julia Garner is from Ozark. She plays Ruth, the character Ruth in Ozark. Phenomenal actress. There was one scene towards the end. I won't tell you what the scene was, but she actually made me feel some type of way towards the end of the show. Brilliant performance by her. And that, by the way, is the real Anna Delvey. And Delvey wasn't even her real name. I can't even remember what her real name was. But the accuracy, they had a lot of the real characters represented in this show. So it was billed as something that is 100% completely true, except for the parts that are 100% completely false. That's, they would show that at the beginning of every episode. I highly recommend it. It was, very engrossing. And at some point, it made me think about Spanky McDumbass, right? Because her talent, her gift was making people believe that she was worth more than she actually was. And if that's not Spanky's game, I don't know what is. That's his game, and he's going to fall. That's going to be his downfall, ultimately, I think. Any relation to James Rockford Garner? Not sure, but she is fantastic. Look at that same dress. So check that out. Meanwhile, on Apple TV, Wifey and I last night, we watched this thing called Severance. And Severance is weird. It's a completely different kind of energy. It's heavier, whereas that other show, Inventing Anna, had a banging soundtrack and lots of glamour, glitz and glamour. This is very low key, low energy, but it's intriguing. It's the whole concept of people voluntarily taking a job at this company called Lumor, I believe it is Lumer, and that's like a pharmaceutical company. And in order to work there, you have to agree to sever your consciousness, sever your memories, your work memories from your home memories, right? So when you show up to work, you get into an elevator, and as the elevator descends, it just completely disconnects your home self from work self. So there's two of you now. There's one who is Work Majid, and Work Majid is in full effect from the hours of 9 to 5. But Home Majid is in effect from 5 until whenever, he comes back to work. But that essentially means that Work Majid is always at work, never leaves. And the concept of that is weird. Imagine that you're creating two selves, two different yous. So it's really cool. You have to be I think this show, you have to be in a mood to see it. That's all I can say. It's not something that I'm looking forward to the next episode. It's like, I gotta prepare myself for that shit. And I think I could say the same for this movie that Wifey and I watched also this weekend. It's called The Kingsman. This is part 3 to what has mostly been a visually dynamic, exciting, action-packed action movie franchise, The Kingsman, right? This goes back to the very beginning of when the Kingsmen were first formed, and you'd think, it's got the same formula. It should be banging, right? But no, this was very different. This one was kind of like it was like a history lesson, and I only say that because I had to do my research this weekend as I was working on today's feature, which is what triggers wars, right? And so naturally I got to World War I, and I delved into what triggered World War I. And that was represented to a T in this movie. And it was the assassination of the Archduke Franz Ferdinand. And if you see this artwork here, like, the people paid attention when they were storyboarding out this whole assassination thing, and they captured it very well. So if you're a history buff, maybe you really love this movie. Me personally, no. It was fine. It just didn't have the same pop and the same punch and the same action as the first two Kingsman movies. So it was okay. It's nothing that I want to spend any more minutes of this show discussing. However, my new favorite TV show is Bel-Air. New favorite TV show, and it's on the Peacock network. Bel-Air. This is the reimagining of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Fantastic show. I cannot rave enough about this show. The casting is excellent. It's a stellar cast. And the acting is fantastic. I like how they treated these characters. These characters are very well fleshed out. They're not two-dimensional stereotypes or caricatures of people. Like, these people inhabit the real world, today's world. It's not like, when I was watching it before, I thought, wow, this is like the Fresh Prince blinged out, right? Blinged out. Like, you really feel the money. You knew that the people that Will Smith was staying with were rich. You knew that, but you didn't really get a full-throated sense of just how wealthy they are. People are wealthy, but they're not just wealthy. They're not like TV rich. They're not like, hey, Charles, park my car in the back. No, I mean, they're like good. It's like how you would hope that people with some money and character would behave. That's it. Yeah. So Will Smith is in some jeopardy in West Philly. There's some gangsters looking for him, and his mom whisks him away, has him whisked away to Bel-Air. And here's the interesting thing about this show. Carlton, whoo boy, this is not your mama's Carlton, with the he's not done that dance yet. No, and this brother has issues. In fact, both Carlton and Will, they don't like each other. They don't love each other. They don't like each other. They can barely stand to be in each other's company. But it makes for a very, very interesting dynamic. And there's only 4 episodes available so far. And the soundtrack, again, is banging. The guy in this picture here is Jazzy. Jazzy's character is cool. And it looks like he's on Hillary's radar. Yeah. And what more can I say about this show other than go see it, go check it out. And Will Smith is heavily involved, and you can tell like he definitely had a lot of input into this. It's a very smartly done show. I enjoy it tremendously. Okay, it's time for quick hits, and let's see if these quick hits register. Yeah, you son of a bee. Yeah. Quick hits. President Jimmy Carter was trending today, and I always worry just a tad when he's trending because, he's not getting any younger. He's up there. He's up there in the years. But no, he's only trending because he is awesome sauce, and some people think that it's okay to treat President Carter as though his name should be considered an insult, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But no, President Carter is alive and well. He's fantastic. He is the guy who served his country in the military. He married a lady, and he stayed with that lady for his whole damn life. He builds habitats for humanity still to this day. Falls and breaks his hip or whatever, an ankle, and a few days later he's back up at it. This dude was so far ahead of his time that he installed solar panels on the roof of the White House. This dude is fantastic. I would feel honored if somebody compared me to President Carter. I don't think I deserve it. I think there's very few people who deserve being compared to President Carter. He is a standout. That's what you want your presidents to be like. And on top of it, he knows what time it is. Here's a quote from him. He says, he lost the election and he was put into the office because the Russians interfered on his behalf. And I don't even need to tell you who he's talking about. You already know who damn it is. You already know. Okay. And speaking of you already know, speaking of one whose name needs no introduction, can you get, if you wanted to, if you really, really wanted to, could you get a Trump steak anywhere? The answer, you already know. It's no. How about a bottle of Trump ice, the bottled Trump water? If you wanted to risk getting dysentery, could you? Could you get a bottle of this swill? I think not. No. You couldn't. You couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Or what about if you wanted to take a flight? What if you wanted to take a flight, go somewhere on a luxurious No, you couldn't. No, because it's yet another failed business of many. And hey, look, hey, some people don't even try. Some people don't even try. So I'll give credit where it's due. He tried, but he's stupid. He thinks that all it takes is throw a lot of money and slap my name on it. That's his business strategy. That might work for buildings and real estate, but for businesses with lots of moving parts, that shit doesn't work. It doesn't fly. So he's taking that same approach to actually, technically he doesn't have his name attached to Truth Social. It's everybody knows that's his thing. And what has he done? He's taken a page right out of Malaria's book, and he's basically copied and pasted the code from Twitter or Getter or whatever other company. His shit looks just exactly like Twitter's, except different color. But how you know that it's a Trump product? Well, a lot of people tried to log in and they couldn't log in because this thing is a joke. It's a joke. It's a yoke. Meanwhile, what is not a yoke is our Vice President Kamala Harris was in Munich this weekend for a security conference, and she gave what some people are saying is the most consequential, the single most significant speech by an American leader in a global forum to prevent war since the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. That is high praise. And yeah, she did her thing because we are faced with an escalating conflict between Russia and Ukraine. And yesterday, we heard that President Biden and Vladimir Putin are supposed to be meeting for a summit between the U.S. and Russia. And that all depends if Putin does not invade Ukraine. Now, we've heard some reports that Putin has already given the order to invade. I can't confirm it. If you guys know, then it's maybe if in the past hour or so, has anybody confirmed that they have actually invaded? I don't think so. The word from the White House is that there is still a chance for peaceful negotiation, for diplomacy to do its thing. However, Lee Saunders says Putin has invaded Ukraine. His peacekeeper tanks have gone over the border into Donbas. Yeah. Speaking of Donbas, earlier today, Putin signed an executive order recognizing these two provinces, Donetsk and Luhansk, or DNR and LNR. Right, they're part of the Donbas region. He signed a decree recognizing the independence of these two separatist regions of the Donbas, eastern Ukraine. He's not slick. This guy has already, long before this conflict arose, he's already started sending weapons over there and people. These separatist fighters have gone over there. So they're already over there in massive numbers. And he's saying that these two he's like peeling off little bits of Ukraine. It's almost as if Connecticut, right, wanted to claim part of New York City. So, add these two parts of New York City to Connecticut. They wanted to annex them. So what do? They sent a bunch of Connecticut residents over to, Washington Heights and Inwood, and they fill it up with so many people. They say, okay, now we are recognizing Inwood and Washington Heights as being independent of New York City. That's essentially what he's done, which is just bullshit. He is impinging upon the sovereignty of Ukraine, and he thinks he's slick. I don't like how this thing is unfolding. I also don't like the fact that on the news, I'm hearing guys like Michael McFaul, for instance. He's got a lot of foreign policy chops. Michael McFaul is saying now if Russia invades and that there are a lot of casualties, deaths, that if we try to impose in sanctions after actual fighting and war breaks out, that's not going to be sufficient, and the only response will be a ground war. I don't buy that shit. I don't believe that it is necessary for us to engage in a ground war. We don't win. We don't win in that situation. We've already been there and done that. We just got out of a goddamn war. We don't need to be in another one. So they have to make diplomacy work. That's it. They got to hem this dude in. Hem him in. Cha-Cha says 82nd Airborne is on the ground and U.S. bases are on alert. Lee Saunders says we should Bin Laden him. You know what that means. Why should regular people fight a ground war for one lunatic? Indeed, that dude is pushing this whole thing. What the fuck? All right, so let me see. So that's it, I think, for our. Yeah, that's it for our. What do you call this thing? For our quick hits. Let me see if I can do this timeline cleanse here. One of these videos has audio that I don't think I can play on this show. This first one, all three of these videos are from our friend Philosophy. So Philosophy, if you're there, thank you, my friend, aka Jonathan Slater. This first one it's all about cake. Everything is cake. Everything is cake. And here it is.
Issues because everything is cake.
Yeah, see that audio is not good. But let me see if I can I mute it?
Trust issues because everything is cake.
All right, that's all I can show. I'm sorry. I didn't have time to cut out the audio for that one, but that one is very interesting. I like it so much, and now I'm hungry. This next one here is the clip I showed you a little piece of earlier, and this is a humongous cat. That's a huge cat. Look at that. I mean, I don't think that's a cat. I think that's a jungle cat, if anything. Anybody know what that is? Is that an ocelot? The thing is huge. It's huge. Meredith Powell says she thinks she's the only person that likes carrot cake. No, I like carrot cake. I like anything as long as it's got frosting. Frosting, I'm on board. Hey, I see Jim Rubin is here. Thank you, Jim Rubin, for attending our show. Let's see. What's the next and final one? This is happening all across the country. It's the latest in ATM technology. It's called DAD ATMs. Yo, I'm sorry. That's stupid, but that shit is funny because it's real. Philosophy, thank you, my friend. He does this gentleman does a lot of hard work curating stuff to make you chuckle. So thank you for that. Thank you for that, and thank you for this. And now it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to jump into our main topic of the day. It is war. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Yeah. So, as we were just discussing, I don't know if World War III is imminent. A fun fact, when World War I broke out, I don't know if this is a fun fact, it's just a fact. But when World War I broke out, they did not refer to it as World War I because there had not been world wars up until that point. But, it was called the Great War, but it eventually became referred to as World War I because so many different countries got involved, and the United States didn't get involved in this war until late in the game. And as I pointed out to you earlier, it was like a chain reaction of events. There's so many different things that cause wars to happen, so many different equations involved. So right now we're looking at the buildup of 190,000 troops on the border of Ukraine. We have Putin recognizing two small sections of Ukraine as being independent. He's moving his chess pieces slowly but surely into place. And we understand that he has a desire to keep Ukraine out of NATO. But ultimately, why would he give a shit what club Ukraine joins if Ukraine has its own sovereignty and it has its own right to determine what the hell it's going to do, where it's going to shop for clothes, why is it any of Russia's business? It's Russia's business because Russia wants to absorb Ukraine back wants to get the band back together, the USSR. That's what he wants ultimately. But is that all that's at play? No, there are other things at play. So hopefully these things can get ironed out between Biden and Putin in a summit that is supposed to happen at some point soon. But before it does, let's look into what is it that that causes wars to break out, right? Because it's not as cut and dried as you would think. There are 8 factors that go into wars. And let's see, now I have to move my face. Let me just do this. Here, let's just do this. We have economic gain. We have territorial gain, religion, nationalism, revenge, civil war, revolutionary war, and defensive war. So, excuse me. Let's talk about the first one on the list, and that's economic gain, right? Economic gain is what it sounds like. It's when a country goes to war with another country because over resources that can either enrich your country. Excuse me. The Finnish-Soviet War, or the Winter War, 1939 to 1940, was when Stalin and his Soviet army wanted to mine nickel in Finland, but the people of Finland refused, and then the Soviet Union waged war on Finland. That's what happened then. There's territorial gain. Let me cut this back on here. Territorial gain. The Mexican-American War of 1846 to 1848. This was after Texas was annexed by the United States, and Mexico was still claiming Texas as its own. So the U.S., the bottom line was the U.S. outfought Mexico and retained Texas and incorporated it as a state. That was a war, straight up, was over territory. So you could say, looking at this conflict between Ukraine and Russia, you could say that territory is probably one of the mitigating factors. I think that's not hard to debate right there. Religion. The Crusades, for instance, were from like 1095 to 1291, and those were a series of wars sanctioned by the Latin Church during the medieval age. And the aim of Crusaders was to kick out Islam, right? They wanted to eliminate Islam and spread Christianity. And that's all the Crusades were about, and millions of people died and were tortured horribly in the name of God. And that's so ironic. Then there were the Yugoslav wars from 1991. This is more current, from 91 to 95. They basically consisted of the Croatian War and the Bosnian War. Many of you out there who are around my age will remember these. And they were fought between Orthodox Catholic and Muslim populations of former Yugoslavia. Current wars over religion. And then there's nationalism. So nationalism in this context is essentially attempting to prove that your country is superior to another country by violent means, by war. And this often takes the form of an invasion. So I don't know if you could probably say nationalism is another mitigating factor. It's no secret that Putin was really bothered by the Soviet Union just coming apart at the seams. All these countries allowed to go off and do their own thing. They're allowed to leave instead of staying in the fold. That never sat right with him. World War I, World War I unfolded as a result of the assassination of Archbishop Franz Ferdinand. But, there were a lot more moving parts in this than you can imagine. Like Austria-Hungary declared war on Russia Serbia declared war against Germany, Montenegro against Austria-Hungary and Germany, and then France and Great Britain declared war on Austria-Hungary, Japan against Germany. Like, everybody was like, I got an issue with you, I got an issue with you, I got an issue with you, and that's why it was the World War. Yeah, and what's crazy is back then people were very, very gung-ho about going to war, like dying for their country. There was a saying, and I saw it on I saw it in that movie, The Kingsman, and I wish I had written it down, but it was something like, there's nothing sweeter than dying in the service of your country. And people were very much like that. Like, they did not want to be denied. People were lying about their age, saying that they were older when they were actually younger, just so they would have a chance to get in the war and fight, which, it's weird. I don't think people are running each other over nowadays to fight in a war. You're basically just catching bullets with your body, especially if you're on the front lines. And same thing could be said about World War II. Although World War II, I would say the mitigating factor of World War II unfolding was revenge. Yeah, you could even say revenge is something that motivates Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin is a proud guy, and he doesn't like how the Soviet Union, the once proud Soviet Union, was subjugated and just made to be a joke on the world stage. That's how he sees it. And I feel like part of what he wants is revenge. World War II, they say the rise of the Nazi Socialist Party and Germany's eventual domination of Europe were direct results of the Treaty of Versailles, which imposed very strict punishments, aka sanctions, on Germany. And so World War II, this was Germany's way of rising up and getting some payback for the payback, basically. We know how that turned out anyway. And then there was the War on Terror. The War on Terror, which we waged, this like September 11th, basically had generated feelings that had not been seen since World War I, where people were chomping at the bit to get out there and go kill them some terrorists. Yeah, I remember that. You know what? The thoughts, the emotions, the feelings, they ran through me too. At first I was sad and I cried, September 11th, September 12th, September 13th. And I remember, after the tears stopped, that's when the anger came, and I was mad. I wanted to get some payback. And you know what? I didn't like George Bush. I hated George Bush before 9/11. And then suddenly when he started making speeches, saying we're going to make them pay, I was like, yeah, which would explain why he had such high approval ratings, because, yeah, I think I approved of him too. Weird. Civil War. Civil War is another cause of war. These generally take place when there's a really sharp internal disagreement between two major factions in a country, at least two, and the disagreement can be about who rules or how the country should be run or people's rights or whatever. In the case of the American Civil War, we all know that was primarily about slavery. Also, states' rights and blah, blah, blah. And the South wanted to secede. They wanted to leave the United States. And so we fought. And a whole lot of people died in that war. And I think that was our most costly war. Let's see what else did I have. That was Civil War. The Korean War was also a civil war fought between the North and the South. And the South was obviously supported by the United States. And this was one of those long, it says 1950 to 1953, but that shit, for some reason, it feels like that war was has still been going on, between the North and the South. They're not fighting anymore. They're not shooting. It's like a Cold War, I guess. Marie from New Jersey says the Korean War never ended. And then there are revolutionary wars. And these happen when, a very large section of the population of a country revolts, against the group that is in charge, because mostly they're hungry. They can't eat. They can't feed their families. And they're pissed off with the leadership. And that's what happens. With the American Revolution, Americans decided we didn't want to be taxed without representation. We didn't want to be ruled by the British anymore. We wanted to declare our independence, and Britain was like, screw you guys. And so we fought and we won, and that is why America is so great. Excuse me. And then there was also the French Revolution too. That happened right around the same time, a little bit after the American Revolution. This was something that represented the rise of the bourgeoisie and the downfall of the aristocracy in France. And last but not least, we have what we consider defensive wars. So in the modern world, countries will argue that they're fighting in a purely defensive capacity because it's kind of frowned upon to do what Vladimir Putin is doing. He's not doing a defensive thing, although he might argue that this is somehow defensive, and thankfully the Biden administration has been calling out his bullshit and broadcasting, saying, look, they're trying to create false flag events that make it look like Ukraine is attacking them. But we know it's bullshit. It's Russia throwing a rock at its own head saying, Ukraine, but the Iraqi conflict in 2003, the Iraqi war, excuse me, we were lied into that war, into that conflict. It's a war. It was a war. We were lied in, and people like Colin Powell used his status and his prestige to sell a lie to us about uranium and yellow cake and weapons of mass destruction. And so the only way it could be stopped is for us going in there and and grabbing the weapons of mass destruction. But there was none. So the defense was bullshit. It turned out that was actually that was an offensive war, not defensive at all. So that's it. That is the 8 different causes of war. Let me see if I can find that slide again. Boom. We covered economic gain, territorial gain, religion, nationalism, revenge, civil war, revolution, and defense. And I think out of this list, we can probably definitely say, territorial gain is one of Putin's motivating factors. Nationalism would be another one, possibly revenge, and even defense. If he sees that there's a risk of Ukraine joining NATO, that's his main concern. He doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO. He's saying because that puts his country in a defensive crouch that he doesn't want to be in. But the bottom line is, whatever the reason for war is, there's no good reason. I think defense is probably the best reason. I mean, we tell our kids, if somebody hits you, you have the right to defend yourself. Right? But we also tell our kids that diplomacy should be your number one. You should always try to talk your way out of a conflict if it can be helped, because so many unintended consequences come from physical, violent confrontation. Unintended. I don't think America went into Iraq thinking that it was going to massacre hundreds of thousands of innocent civilians, right? I mean, because you'd have to be a real shitbag. You'd have to be a monster to know that is a strong possibility and then still decide to do it anyway based on a lie. That's terrible. I think I've just indicted the United States for that. Well, I won't be the first and definitely won't be the last. All right, let's keep this show moving. And our next segment is Presidential Trivia in honor of today, which is President's Day. I need some music, excuse me. In honor of President's Day, I put together a series of questions about presidents you may or may not know. Now, when I ask the question, if you know the answer, just type it in. And there's only one correct answer for most of these. Maybe there's two. There's two definite correct answers for one of them. But you know how it is. You know the answer, type it in, and I give you a shout out. You ready? Okay, here we go. Here's the first one. Which president never lived in the White House? Which president never lived in the White House? Don't count yourself out so quickly, my Tal Cabelli and Asmila J. Okay, some of you are being shy. Look at Regina Clark with 2 R's there. Welcome, Regina Clark. Okay, I think I've seen enough. The answer we were looking for is George Washington. Yes, George Washington never resided in the White House because the White House didn't even exist when he was president. No, George Washington instead resided in a place called the President's House, and this was in Philadelphia, right there. And there it is today if you want to visit the President's House. Except for some reason they left the walls off of it. Oh, so you can see in there. But that's pretty cool. So who do we have at the top here? Lee Saunders is at the top. She took a wild guess and she was right. Followed by Susie Brizuela, Nurse Mitch, Sheila Bird, Bernadette H., Meredith Powell, Cha-Cha, Valerie G., Foxtail Dreams, Marie from New Jersey, Regina Clark, Samantha Hawkins, Sandra from Paramount, Cindy C. Okay, there you go. Good job, you guys. Next up, which president never represented a political party? Which president never represented a political party? Let's go. Let's go. Don't be shy, you guys. You guys act like, we don't know each other and shit. We've been knowing each other for many months, almost years now it's been. Don't be afraid to take a guess. All right, I've seen enough. Here we go. I've seen enough. The answer to this question is, once again, it is George Washington. Now, the picture I have placed up here on the left is George Washington as he was pictured back in the late 1800s. On the right is, if George Washington were alive today, that's what he would look like. I just thought that was a cool picture to include. Let's see. Okay, at the top, I've got Monique Lee with Washington, followed by our friend Jim Rubin, Samantha Hawkins, Nurse Mitch, Susie Brizuela, Laurie B., Xander Zork, Deb B., Valerie G., Mia to you. Oh, no. It's not Jethro Tull. But hey, I can Jethro Tull. That's a good guess. I'll take a Jethro Tull if you don't know. It's never going to be Jethro Tull. I'll tell you right now. None of these answers are Jethro Tull. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's go on to the next question here. And the next question is, who was the only president to serve in both World War I and World War II? Now that's a question that I kind of linked in with our history lesson from earlier. This president served in both World War I and World War II. Okay, I believe I've seen enough. Okay, and the answer we were looking for is Dwight D. Eisenhower. Dwight D. Eisenhower. And let's see. We've got at the top here Bernadette H. at the top, followed by Nurse Mitch, That Damn Alaskan, Phyllis Hatch, Jim Rubin, Sheila Bird, Foxtail Dreams, Regina Clark, Cha-Cha, Wojo Mom, Deb B. Okay, Good job, you guys. Good job. Very good. Very good. Let's keep it moving. So next one here. This is an interesting one. Which president had the longest inauguration speech at over 8,578 words, but had the shortest presidency on record at only 31 days? Longest inauguration speech, shortest presidency, 31 days. Who was it? 31 days, that's almost 3 Scaramucci's. Oh, that's a fun fact. That was Bernadette H's first time being first in the guessing game. Congratulations to you, Bernadette. You deserve it. Very good. Very good. All right. I think I've seen enough because some folks just like, no, I don't want to guess. I've seen enough. And the correct answer we were looking for was William Henry Harrison, who famously said, "There is nothing more corrupting, nothing more destructive of the noblest and finest feelings of our nature than the exercise of unlimited power." Let's see. At the top, we have Nurse Mitch, followed by Cindy C., Meredith Powell, Xander Zork, Susie Brizuela, The Trump Reaper, Mia Mia to You, Bernadette H., Cha-Cha, Marie from New Jersey, okay, good job, you guys. Very good. And this question is, who was the first president born in Hawaii? Who was the first president born in Hawaii? First president. First. First. All right, I've seen enough. Yes, so our very first president born in Hawaii. What? Oh, wait a minute. Does that say Kenya? Of course, everyone knows I was not born in Kenya. I was born in Hawaii. It's a well-known fact. I've shown my birth certificate. Yes, he was born in Hawaii. President Obama is the correct answer. And let's see, who do we have at the top here? Lee Saunders, once again, with Obama, followed by Susie Brizuela, Mia Mia to You, That Damn Alaskan, Xander Zork, Veronica Tello, Nurse Mitch, Eddie G, Gavin Rutherford, Sylvia Correa, The Trump Reaper, Sheila Bird, Cha-Cha, Fox Hill Dreams, Lisa Straw, Meredith Powell, Maital Cabelli, Samantha Hawkins, Melissa McQueen, Jim Rubin, Marie from New Jersey, Corey Lord, Kimini, and Bernadette, Wojo Mom, Sandra from Paramount, California, Debbie, Phyllis Hatch. Good job, you guys. I see everybody was waiting for the Obama question. Okay. Next up. What does the H and W stand for in George H.W. Bush? Is it Holmes and Watson? Is it health and wellness? Is it ham and wine? What is the H and W for in George H.W. Bush? Philosophy. You are late. Damn it. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. All right, I've seen enough. The correct answer was... No, it wasn't Holmes and Watson. It was Herbert Walker. And let's see, who do we have at the top here? Meredith Powell is at the top with Herbert Walker, followed by Nurse Mitch, That Damn Alaskan, Susie Brizuela, Eddie G, Marie from New Jersey, Sheila Bird, Samantha Hawkins, Xander Zork, Asmila J, Tina G, Laurie B, Mia to you, Bernadette H, Foxhill Dreams, Trump Reaper, Deb B, Wojo Mom, Veronica Tello, Melissa McQueen, Philosophy. Nope. Good job, you guys. Good job. Very good. Let's keep it going. Who was the first Southerner elected to the presidency? Just a good old boy. Just a good old boy. That's all I know from that song. Just a good old boy. I'll give you a hint. The Southerner was not named Hazard, nor was he named Duke. These are tough, right? These questions, these be tough. Seen enough. That was a good one. We were looking for the peanut farmer James Carter. James Earl Carter Jr. And let's see. Ham and whiskey. I'm pretty sure we didn't have a President Barter. We did have a President Carter. I'm going to assume that Miss Kimini had a major typo there, giving it to you. Followed by That Damn Alaskan, Lisa Straw, Sheila Bird. Oh, there's Kimini. She corrected herself later. There's Kimini. Veronica Tello, Meredith Powell, Foxhill Dreams, Philosophy, Mia to you, Susie Brizuela, Laurie B, Cha-Cha, Samantha Hawkins, Xander Zork, Boss Hog, Monique Lee. Good job, you guys. Good job. Good job. Wait, Jim Rubin is disputing this. He's saying Washington and Jefferson were from Virginia. That's debatable if they were considering Virginia a southern state back then. I don't know if that was considered a southern state. It is a very good point. I'm giving you some credit for bringing that up, Mr. Jim Rubin. Thank you very much. Okay, next question is, who was the tallest president in American history? Who was the tallest president in American history? Who? damn it. You guys were not fooled. You're not even fooled a minute by this picture. Damn you. I've seen enough. Yes, the answer we were looking for was Lincoln. Lincoln, who stood at a whopping 6'4". And this question about presidential height kind of cracks me up. It makes me think about a skit that I saw on Saturday Night Live a long time ago that cracked me the hell up. Let's see. At the top, we got Philosophy, followed by Veronica Tello, Eddie G, Jim Rubin, Nurse Mitch, Xander Zork, Mia Mia to You. I love how Ms. Mia Mia to You always says first, like, come on now. Lincoln, okay? Sheila Bird, Corey Lord, that damn Alaskan, Sylvia Correa, Bernadette H, Lisa Straw, Fox Hill Dream, Cindy C, Marie from New Jersey, Asmila J, Melissa McQueen, Lori B, Samantha Huckins, Maital Cabelli, Asmila J, Phyllis Hatch, Susie Briswella. Okay, good job, you guys. Good job. Oh, so before I go on, I got to show you. So the commercial, it went like this. It said, President John F. Kennedy, he was 6'2". Abraham Lincoln was 6'4". Lyndon B. Johnson was 6'3". George Bush was 6'2". But Michael Dukakis, he's only 5'4". That commercial killed me. Vote for Bush. He's taller. The shortest was James Madison at a tiny 5'4". Let's see. Jim Rubin says, when I lie about my height, I say I'm 5'4". That's a good one. That's a good one, buddy. All right, let's keep this show going. Who was the youngest president ever? Oh, excuse me. Who became the youngest president at age 42? Age 42. And believe it or not, this has two possible answers that I will accept. It's a reason, but I'll accept two. One of two possible answers. Okay, I've seen enough. Somebody said they liked this gong. I think that was Jim Rubin. But that's cowbell, my friend. It's cowbell. Okay, so it's two possible answers, and I'll explain why. Teddy Roosevelt succeeded to the presidency after William McKinley was assassinated. But JFK was the youngest elected to president at 43. So I will accept either of those two answers. It looks like the majority of you landed on this guy here, Kennedy, Xander Zork. Very nice picture, my friend, Xander Zork. Look at this young man right here. Xander Zork answers Kennedy. Followed by Nurse Mitch, Veronica Tello, Mia Mia to You, Cha-Cha, Meredith Powell, Wojo Mom, Kimini, Asmila J, Maital Cabelli, Samantha Hawkins, and Susie Briswella. Sheila Bird, Lee Saunders, Marie from New Jersey, Lisa Straw, Bernadette H. Kathleen Cross. Look at Cindy C. said Teddy. Cindy C. said Teddy. Good one, Cindy C. Lucy L. Lori B. Meredith Powell also said Teddy Roosevelt. Good job, you guys. Very good. Very good. You guys are getting into this. Okay. Right by the end. Who was the first president to be impeached? First president to be impeached. That image, right? I swear it reminds me of one of those cards from Monopoly. Okay, I've seen enough. The answer we were looking for is Andrew Johnson. And the Trump Reaper is first at the top, followed by Philosophy, Lisa Hathaway, Cindy C, Lucy L, Andrew Johnson, Sylvia Correa, Marie from New Jersey, Samantha Hawkins, Susie Brizuela, Veronica Tello, Phyllis Hatch, Phyllis Hatch, Mia to you, Cha-Cha. And interesting here, somebody points out that Nixon was not impeached and that Nixon resigned. I could have sworn Nixon was impeached, you know? Okay, so we got one more. One more. I think this one will be easy for you. Who was the shittiest president in history? Shittiest president in history. Worst ever. Who was the most terrible, horrible, no good, very bad president of all times? I saved the hardest one for last. I've seen enough. Yeah. You guys had it right. It was a Spanky McDumbass. Yes. Let's see. And I got Lee Saunders at the top, followed by Cindy C, Xander Zork, Lucy L, Veronica Tello, Meredith Powell, Regina Clark, Monique Lee, the Trump Reaper, Gavin Rutherford, Watcher Soko, Susie Brizuela, Mia to you, Nurse Mitch, Sylvia Correa, Samantha Hawkins, Lisa Straw, Marie from New Jersey, Maital Cabelli, Fox Hill Dreams. He resigned before he could be impeached. Thank you. Jim Rubin. It's so funny when you swear you know something. I would have bet money on that. I would have lost my money. Melissa McQueen, Corey Lord, Regina Clark, Sheila Bird, Bernadette H, Tina G, Asmila J, that damn Alaskan, Kathleen Cross. Everybody got that one. Correctamundo. Thank you very much for answering that. Okay. And last but not least, we have one more topic, and that is you Raggedy Bish. And I think that goes something like this.
You Raggedy Bish.
And today's You Raggedy Bish, it's Ted Cruz. It's Ted Cruz. I mean, you know, he deserves to be Raggedy Bitch, an honorary daily Raggedy Bish default. He deserves to be a permanent member of that pantheon. Today, Mr. Fled Cancun, Mr. Insult my wife one more time and I'll lick your other ball, Mr. Insurrection Sedition Caucus, he decided that that Jimmy Carter should be considered an insult. He says, as I've been saying for months, Joe Biden is Jimmy Carter 2.0. Well, you know, I mean, I'm only dissing him because I know he intended that as an insult towards President Biden. It's not an insult, you know. It's not an insult. President Carter was highly intelligent, very strong character individual. So, Ted Cruz, you suck. That's it. I don't need to finesse this one. You a Raggedy Bish. That's it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my show for the day. Let's see. Ted Cruz's Andrew Dice Clay 2.0. He's not cool enough to be Andrew Dice Clay, who I think ended up being an asshole anyway, but when he first came out, he was kind of funny. She also says, wonder how Teddy feels knowing his daughter is on TikTok talking about how much he hates him. I did not know that. Lisa Straw said he should always be a Raggedy Bitch every second. He is. Cruz is such a non-starter. He is just noise. I don't know why I can't ignore his tweets. I should be able to, but sometimes you see, you know, if you're walking down a hallway and a picture is off kilter, you do kind of want to straighten it out, don't you? You do. That's me. I just do. Trump Reaper wants to know which would make a better sticker, vote blue in 2022 or vote blue if you want to live. Come with me if you want to live. It's Arnold. I think either of them are good. I would say vote blue in 2022. Yeah, in my opinion. Veronica Tello, thank you, my friend, for the kind donation. And I apologize to those of you who had to wait a while in the beginning of the show for me to get this started. It was delayed because of my stupid computer maladies that are never ending. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here for me. I almost didn't do the show. I was feeling so bad. I was like, I can't bring this negative energy to the show. So I hope I was successful in hiding that negative energy, or did I let that leak out in the beginning anyway? I was bitching a little bit, right? I ranted. Anyway, tomorrow's another day. I will fix this issue at some point. Oh, philosophy. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Mr. Johnny Come Lately. By the way, I did share 3 of your videos, philosophy. I did share those earlier. So when you do the replay, you'll see. The first one I couldn't really show because of the music in there. And Cha-Cha, thank you, my friend, for the very generous donation. Thank you. And let's see. So I can't do the regular outro because I can't figure out what the hell is wrong with my music audio thing. So what I'm going to do is play that video, and but first I want to say, if you have not yet gotten your shot, please do so. Please get the shot. Make sure you wear your mask. Keep your social distance. 6 feet or better. And have a lovely, relaxing evening. As you know, I will not be here mañana, but I will be here Wednesday, aka Hump Day. Same time, same place. Oh, Watcher Soko. I got you, Watcher Soko. Thank you for that kind donation. You too. Hey, and philosophy. I thought you. Thank you. Thank you again. I love you all. Peace. And let's see if I can get this video here. Here we go. Special thanks to our moderators. You guys are fantastic for keeping this show nice and smooth, running smooth and troll free all the time. Nurse Mitch, thank you, my friend. Thank you so much for the kind donation. Yeah, you guys rock. You guys, wonderful. Phil, I am trying not to pay attention to my follower ticker, because it just irks the hell out of me. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for a wonderful show once again. But you know what time it is? You need to leave.